Many of you have been asking me, how do I make a custom crafter in Minecraft? Well, the answer is pretty simple. You need to add a scoreboard objective, which is a dummy. Then you will need to summon the armor stand, which will act as the custom crafter. You will then set that custom crafter's score to 0, and then after that, you will engage in you will be executing from the crafter, and you will be doing a stats entity command, setting its success count to itself of the objective statcraft. I'm sure it's not that complicated, let's move on. Then you will, oh my god, okay, you'll be testing for a dropper relative to the armor stand, seeing what contents are inside it, and then only then, if the score of statcraft is 1, how did that get there? I don't remember doing that. It will do a blockdata command, which will put the thing inside the dropper. What the heck is going on? And then after that, we set our statcraft score back to 0. What? I'm sorry to break it to you guys, but this tutorial will not be simple. And before you spam my comment section with comments like what you're seeing now, I highly advise that you check the tutorials page, which I link in the description of the video every time, and make sure you're familiar with those things first, and then come back to this video because this is extremely complicated. In order to create custom crafting with droppers, we need to make it multiplayer compatible, and the only way to really do that is by using the stats command, a very, very complicated command contraption. So the stats command works in two ways. You set it up and then you use it. Now of course you can just copy and paste the commands that are on the screen and also in the paste bin link below, but I suggest you watch the videos so you can actually learn what you're doing. So here's how you set it up. First off, a dummy scoreboard objective has been added so we can track the stats of this armor stand right here, which we summon in. Now this has a custom name so we can also track it, but you can use tags if you want as well. This next command sets the stats score of the custom crafter to 0. Now if we do not do this, then the subsequent stats command will actually not work at all. This next command looks really complicated, and you're right, it's extremely complicated. We're looking for the crafter, and we're saying that every time it is successful, its statcraft score will increment. In short, the command is saying, make the score statcraft equal to the amount of successful operations the crafter has. So let's go over quickly how the stats command actually works. So we add our scoreboard objective, statcraft, and its dummy. Then we summon our entity which we want to target. In this case, it's named crafter. Let's turn that on. Then we set the crafter score to 0, and then we do our stats command, which is right here. Let's grab a button here and activate it. And as you can see from the sidebar, it says 1. If we go execute @E, name equals crafter, and we go test for @E, type equals creeper, you will see that the statcraft score goes to 30. That's because there are actually 30 creepers in the world. If we do that again, you'll see it's still 30. However, if we add another creeper, this time it says 31. If we add another creeper, it says 32. So it's counting how many times this command here was successful. So now all our commands are set up. Let's take a look at the actual execution. So our first command here tests for a dropper with a very, very specific NBT tag. If that NBT tag matches, then the statcraft score will be set to 1. The next command says, well, if the stat score is 1, then the previous command must have been successful, and therefore we can change the data of that dropper below us so it has new contents, in which case wiping the contents of the dropper and replacing it with a new custom item. That last command block is put there to set the statcraft to 0 to stop the previous command from running twice, so whenever the dropper matches the contents again, the cycle can continue. Let's take a look at the testforblock command. This command is really important because when it's successful, it sets the statcraft score of the armor stand to 1. Let's take a look at some examples. This command tests if there's any dropper below the crafter. This command has an empty items tag on the end, which means it only detects for empty droppers. This command tests for a dropper with a diamond in its first slot. This command tests for a dropper with a diamond in the middle slot.
This command tests for a diamond in the first slot and the middle slot. So altogether we have our ID, our slot, how many items there are, the damage, and also the tag. You can find more information on this with my blockdata tutorial. Speaking of which, that will explain that second command that we had right here. All we need to do now is set the statcraft score to 0 because it's been set to 1 thanks to the test4 and blockdata command. Then we're done. Well, there you have it. It's extremely complicated, but I hope I helped a few people. If, however, it did not work at all for you, rather than just saying a comment saying it didn't work, maybe you should post the commands in the comments so either myself or maybe another fan of mine can actually help you with the problem. Thanks everyone for watching, I will see you in the next one. If you're still having trouble, then I highly suggest you check the tutorials page in the description so you can get further background knowledge about commands. See ya!